Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys had a fantastic day. A little slower day for me. Just didn't see many setups that I liked. Obviously, we kind of trended up up a little bit today, and then obviously we had a little pullback. Right here at lunch, kind of faked quite a prob. It probably faked a lot of people into shorts here. It turned out just to be a little. Let's see if there was like a 15-minute FEG there. There was not, but you see there was a 15-minute OB. But you see how this price kind of pulled back here, retested it in OB. If you draw your 50% from here to this high, that's going to be right about 50%, and then we obviously push back higher. Remember, we came into today. We wanted Friday's highs right here, or these were Wednesday's highs. We wanted Friday's highs right here at 886-ish area. Same for ES this morning. We wanted Friday's highs, but we wanted Wednesday's highs or Thursday's highs on ES because Thursday was just high. Remember, ES was a bit weaker on Friday, but we wanted Thursday's highs and Friday's highs. We got those. And then our next target on NQ came at 16,939. That is because of this right here, and you see how that's kind of where we are rejecting right now. So remember, we are extremely high here. We did put in a weekly FEG last week, down here. So maybe, I mean, this has to close yet. This week is far from over. So I mean, this could end up not being an FEG once the week's over. Maybe we get some kind of pullback off this FEG. Maybe we get some kind of 50% pullback from here to here and fill in maybe like this weekly for so we and then boom and then go back higher. I mean that's absolutely a possibility, or we just go straight to all-time highs. But it is coming into the Christmas time. Price is going to start slowing down. Price is going to start getting a little bit sloppier. So that's why I stayed up more on the sidelines during these couple weeks of the year. Just has to be like an A+ setup for me. I just did not see anything today, so no alerts for me today. But you notice weekly FVG right here on NQ1. That's where we got our 939 target from, and then this would be like your all-time highs here on NQ, right? So up at like 17,700, we'll call it to make things easy. Obviously we want to see push price over this weekly FVG at 17,230. I already mentioned that in the alerts channel. But if we push over 230, then it should be, we should be going right up to 17,700. 17,700. I think that makes it clear and obvious, but you see we're still rejecting it right now. Going into this evening, I'm gonna want to see. Let's go back to NQH. We're gonna put in a 4-hour FEG here as soon as this candle closes in 1 hour. I mean, as long as we don't come back down to 880 and drop another 37 points here. This is gonna turn into a 4-hour fair value gap. So this is gonna be huge going into the overnight session because obviously we took these highs. We are rejecting off a weekly FVG here. If we wake up and we are slicing through this 4-hour fair value gap, this is a nice little downtrend here that could be broken. And then we look maybe down for this low or at least part of this LRLR down or this little uptrend, very algorithmic, to be broke, or at least look for these lows down here to 16,800 level, and this will take us down to 16,730. But we won't know that until this 4-hour, right? Because this 4-hour will tell us we could, bounce from here. We could go in here, bounce, and then, and then we continue up to 17, back up to 17,000, 17,1, 17,2, and then maybe over the FEG, the weekly fair value gap. So just have to see. This will be the key. This is all I'm going to watch going into the overnight session. But it is worth noting, this is a daily order block here. So you do want to see how price kind of tapped into the wick of it today. Remember on order blocks, I like to use the wicks. Uh, when the wicks are bigger than the body, I like to use the wick. So you see we're kind of tapping into it here. We didn't really test the body, testing the wick though, and you see how price like tapped into it, and then it was kind of like respecting it so far. So I mean, we are bouncing from a daily order block, we can say, but we are rejecting off a weekly. So we're just kind of still in the middle, and then still kind of slow price delivery, kind of sloppy still. So yeah, watch the 4-hour. That's your downside targets. We're probably these lows and then maybe down to 627 if things get a little bit wild. But if we come down here and take this, I think we have a lot more downside to go. But up here, your next targets would be, let's go to NQ1. Let's go see what the daily looks like. See, there's just really nothing because it's a daily fair value gap. If we get over the daily fair value gap, you do have a small volume imbalance up here at 17.2, and then we would close the daily FEG at 17.70. So I guess you could mark those as your targets for now. Other than that, just keep watching, see what happens with this weekly fair value gap. Very, very risky, I think, to start being in longs here. But the one thing about longs right now is DXY, right? Remember what I pointed out last week? DXY made a 4 hour, a 4 hour. It made a weekly order block here. So this is possible to come up here. Price comes up, retest the body because remember the bodies are bigger than the wicks. Comes up, test the body, and then rejects, and then maybe start drawing back down to these relative equal lows down here at 99. 590 or so. So still pretty bearish here on DXY. So that could keep the indices going. Tells me maybe that 4 hour holds on NQ here. But like I said, we'll let the bodies do the talking overnight while we go enjoy our evenings. ES, obviously we were looking for 47.92 Thursday's high, and we were looking for 4850 because there's a ton of sell orders sitting there. So that liquidity wanted to come into the market. Looking at the 4 hour here, same thing as NQ. Obviously, this is gonna be a much smaller 4 hour. I really don't like how small this is. It's a 2 point fair value gap. So when that happens, we go down to the hourly. You see, we don't even have an hourly. It explains why the 4 hour is so small. I guess I'll just watch this. I'm gonna watch this in comparison with NQ. I'm gonna want to see both broken through to then see price probably come back down. Then the next test would be right here, would be this 4 hour order block. So your downside target, if this starts getting displaced through, your first target would be 47.80, and then you want to see the CE of this wick right here at 47.73 hold. If it doesn't, then we're probably going down maybe like these relative equal lows, or maybe even down to 47.46. So let's go look at ES1 and see what our longer continuity chart looks like here. ES1 on the weekly looks like, yeah, so that one target, the target we were talking about last week, 48.16 or so, this high right here, this is your weekly high, and then this weekly high up to 48.60 would be your next two larger time frame targets on ES. So if we wake up tomorrow and we're holding that 4 hour, and NQ's holding that 4 hour, and we're pushing through 4800, we know price is most likely drawn up to that 48.16, and ES is and NQ is probably drawn up to 17.70. But with that, I really don't have much else to say today. And what I mean by there were not too many good plays today. I only seen one good inverse that would have worked, but it was just so high. And I mean, these are some nice wicks up here, and then you see we had this 5 minute inverse right here, closed above, retest, went back up. You probably could have longed to high of day, and then left some runners, but really wasn't. Still just wasn't feeling it today. I don't know what it was. Like I said, it's just that time of a season with the market. Everything's just got to look exceptional for me. If these were equal highs, then probably, but just still, you just never know. So with that, and then you see like we inverse this 5 minute down, and then we didn't deliver. Maybe ES did, but just wasn't very clean delivery today. Let's go take a look at QQQ and SPY. So if we go QQQ, you see, let's see here. Let's go to extended trading hours. All right, QQQ obviously put in this 4 hour fair value gap here. Maybe price comes back down here, retest, kind of like the stay of 4 hour on NQ. You see we tapped up into 408 today. Let's go look at Q's all-time high chart here. So I mean, I think it's pretty obvious Q might be drawing up here, but you just have to keep in mind NQ did hit that weekly FEG, so you just have to be extremely careful. I mean, but you can tell like if we're just looking at this without incorporating NQ, it kind of looks like you would expect, like if you're like what I always say, if we were looking at this and this is a 5 minute chart, this is your sell model, this is your buy model, your buy model would complete up here. So I mean, it makes sense for Q to keep grinding up to 408.71 here. I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to because of NQ. That's why it's just important, I think, to watch futures too. But I would expect this to go up and take at least 408.71, and then maybe some kind of pullback, and then maybe we start filling in some weekly FEGs below, filling this one. Yeah. So I mean, that's Q. Don't have much else to talk about with that. Let's go check out SPY quick for you guys. SPY. I would be looking for this high, of course, right? Sell model into your buy model, up to 479.95. Might as well call it 480. I think Rock's already pointed that out though. Let's see your 1 hour charts. Kind of displacing through this hourly fair value gap here. Don't really like that. You see how prices are just like has no respect for this tiny 1 hour fair value gap here. The 4 hour. So this will be the big thing for SPY going into tomorrow. Obviously, I think ES will be the one that tells the story. But let's see. You want to see SPY hold this. Let's go look at. So if you look at here to here, you see this is still above the point 0.5. So maybe price slides down to 470.70, below your point 0.5 fib into this tinier 4 hour fair value gap. Then we're below the point 0.5 fib. We're in a 4 hour FEG right here, this tiny little guy, maybe bounce, and then maybe look for a long position here if we get displacement up to the upside. So I would be looking for 470.50. If price starts to slide through 470.90, then I mean I think it's pretty obvious we're going to go and at least fill this in. Start slicing through here. You're looking down to 468.44. We're probably going to this low, and then if price respects this 4 hour and we start displacing up, this 4 hour, I would be looking for this high at 473 and then up to 473.75, and then see what happens when this high gets taken. This high gets taken, we could continue to push up to that 480 level on SPY. So with that, hope you guys had a fantastic day in the markets, and we will see you guys tomorrow.